Three borders, three adversaries, three wars at the same time. To the north and east, China. 1.4 billion people, the world's second largest military, a 4,000-kilometer disputed Himalayan frontier, and they've already clashed with India on it. To the west, Pakistan, nuclear armed, battle hardened, and in 2025 they proved they can hurt India in ways that shocked the world. To the east, Bangladesh, once India's closest neighbor. Now, after a military backed transition of power, quietly buying Chinese jets, Pakistani artillery, and building military ties that India's own Chief of Defense Staff has called a direct security threat. This is not a hypothetical engineered in a think tank. This is the scenario India's military planners are actively preparing for right now. Every procurement decision, every base being hardened, every satellite being launched, it's all built around surviving this. So the question isn't whether India could fight on three fronts. The question is, does it have enough to win? Let's find out. The Western Front, Pakistan. Pakistan remains India's most persistent and immediate military adversary. The two countries have fought four wars, and the disputed Kashmir border is never truly cold. In April 2025, a terror attack killed 26 civilians in Pahalgam, Kashmir. Within 2 weeks, India launched Operation Sindoor, precision missile strikes on 9 targets across Pakistan administered territory. Pakistan retaliated with Operation Banyan Marsus. The 4 day exchange was the most intense military confrontation between the two countries since 1971. But here's what changed everything. For the first time, Pakistan was using integrated Chinese weapon systems, J-10C jets, PL-15 missiles, HQ-9 air defenses. Western analysts, the Belfer Center at Harvard, and even the Pentagon took note. Chinese military hardware had just gone head to head with Western platforms and held its ground. The Northern Front, China, China and India share 4,000 kilometers of disputed Himalayan border, the line of actual control. Since the deadly Galwan Valley clash in 2020, both sides have kept 50,000 plus troops permanently deployed in Ladakh. China has built entire military cities at altitude, roads, airfields, missile stations, all within striking distance of India. The PLA's Western Theatre Command is explicitly designed for India, and China's military relationship with Pakistan has deepened from all weather friendship into fully integrated operational coordination. They share intelligence, they train together. Chinese weapon systems are now tested in combat against India. The Eastern Front, Bangladesh. This is the front that most people aren't watching, which is exactly why it matters. In 2024, Bangladesh's interim government placed its largest ever ammunition order with Pakistan, over 40,000 artillery rounds, more than triple the previous year's purchase. By August 2025, Bangladesh's military was in Rawalpindi touring Pakistan's weapons factories. By October, Pakistan's chairman of Joint Chiefs was in Dhaka. Bangladesh is now moving to acquire up to 48 JF-17 jets, co-developed by China and Pakistan, and 20 J-10C fighters for 2.2 billion. The same J-10C that just proved itself against India's Rafale. India's Chief of Defense Staff General Anil Chauhan said it plainly in July 2025. There is a possible convergence of interest between China, Pakistan, and Bangladesh with security implications for regional stability. That convergence is no longer theoretical, it's procurement level real. The Western Front, India vs Pakistan. On paper, India massively outguns Pakistan. Larger military, larger economy, larger air force. It isn't close. But Operation Sindoor showed that on paper doesn't always translate to the battlefield. What India has India's Western Air Command controls the Rajasthan and Punjab sectors, home to its most modern fighter bases. 36 Rafale jets, India's sharpest sword, each one equipped with Meteor missiles with a 150 plus kilometer range, among the longest range air to air missiles on the planet. hundreds of Su-30 MAKIs, a 270 strong fleet, the backbone of Indian air power, capable of precision strikes deep into Pakistani territory. The S-400 air defense system, which India calls Sudarshan Chakra, a 600-kilometer radar umbrella over the entire Punjab sector, capable capable of intercepting targets at 400 plus kilometers range. Three squadrons are operational. A fourth was added in late 2025. BrahMos cruise missiles, Mach 2.8, range up to 450 kilometers. Armed on Su-30 MAKIs, they can hit high-value targets with sub-meter accuracy. India also now has 31 MQ-9B Predator drones, long-endurance unmanned systems that can surveil, strike, and saturate Pakistani air defenses without risking a single pilot. But Pakistan is no longer the conventional underdog it once was. Chinese hardware has closed the gap, and India's advantage on this front. Despite the setbacks, India retains decisive conventional superiority. Its economy is 12 times larger. Its military budget is 4x Pakistan's. A sustained conflict, not a 4-day exchange, would see India's logistics, manpower, and industrial capacity dominate. Pakistan would run out of missiles before India runs out of targets. And here's the nuclear calculus. Both countries have roughly 170 to 180 warheads each. Pakistan's first use doctrine is well known. India's no first use policy is clear. But as Defense Minister Rajnath Singh said in 2019, it is conditional on circumstances. Nobody actually wants to test that line. The Western Front is a front India can hold, but not without real cost. This is the front that keeps Indian strategists awake at night. The Chinese People's Liberation Army has undergone the most dramatic military modernization in modern history, and it is aimed in significant part at India. China's Himalayan advantage. China has built a massive infrastructure advantage along the LAC, highways, tunnels, high altitude airports, and missile stations that did not exist a decade ago. The PLA can deploy forces and supplies along the LAC far faster than India can match, at least for now. China's Air Force fields 200 plus J-20 stealth fighters and is inducting J-35s. India's most advanced jet is the Rafale, capable but not fifth generation. China's Western Theater Command has specific contingency plans for a Himalayan conflict with India. It has spent a decade refining those plans during the Galwan standoff, what India has going for it geography. The Himalayas are not just India's vulnerability, they are also its shield. Operating fighter jets at altitude is extraordinarily difficult. Thin air reduces engine performance and weapons loads for everyone. Indian pilots have decades of experience flying in these conditions. Chinese pilots have less. India has three S-400 squadrons protecting its northern bases, the same systems that proved their worth intercepting Pakistani drones in Operation Sindoor. And India has BrahMos, including the recently contracted extended range variant, capable of striking deep behind the lacy at targets China thought were safe. The real danger: Chinese Pakistani coordination. The nightmare scenario isn't China fighting India alone, it's China and Pakistan coordinating. One applying pressure in the Himalayan north, the other launching across the western plains simultaneously. This is not paranoia. China provided real time intelligence to Pakistan during the Operation Sindoor strikes. Chinese systems, J-10Cs linked to Chinese satellites and ground radar, formed the backbone of Pakistan's air defense kill chain. The ORF think tank called it fully operational China India Pakistan triadic rivalry. The PLA's official doctrine includes joint operations with allies. India has no treaty ally that would physically fight alongside it. This coordination gap is India's single greatest strategic vulnerability on the northern front. India's actual defense is what it can do. Here is where the real picture gets more complicated and more reassuring than the threat alone suggests. India has been building for this scenario for years, and in 2025 it accelerated dramatically. Air power, 5 to 20 aircraft, 29 squadrons, and growing. India currently operates approximately 5 to 20 combat aircraft in 29 active squadrons. The sanction requirement is 42, there's a real gap. But the quality of what India has now is the highest in its history. 36 Rafales with Meteor and Scalp missiles, 270 plus Su-30 MKIs, the world's most produced flanker variant, 22 Apache attack helicopters, 31 MQ-9B Predator drones coming online. And critically, in 2025, India signed a deal with HAL for 156 Prachand light combat helicopters, specifically designed for high altitude warfare in exactly the mountain terrain where China is a threat. These are Indian 5 layers of India Air Shield Layer 1, 400 plus Kilim. S-400 Triumph, 3 squadrons operational, protecting Punjab, Rajasthan, and Ladakh. Layer 2, 70 km, Akash NG and MRSAM, medium range surface to air missiles, 18 IEF squadrons ordered. Layer 3, 25 km, Barak 8, Indian Navy, Spider, for point defense of air bases and naval assets. Layer 4, 10 km, Vishorads, manpads, very short range systems for drones and low altitude threats. Layer 5, anti drone and jamming systems. India's Akashteer C2 network digitally integrates all 5 layers in real time. Operation Sindoor validated this architecture. India's Akashteer system reportedly neutralized over 300 Pakistani aerial threats, drones, missiles, loitering munitions during the 4-day conflict. Be ready for next part of this.